Okay, welcome, and let's begin. So we can't really eliminate stress from life. It's a part of life. Actually, there's good parts of stress, which we'll talk about, but we can change our relationship to stress by interrupting the stress reaction and by proactively taking action that can help build our capacity and our resources. And that's what I'm really happy to talk to you about today and in this 30-minute video. So please settle in and we'll begin. And so what we'll be doing is helping you understand how stress impacts the brain, the body, and our behavior. And we'll explore your unique relationship with stressors in your life and how you can respond more effectively. So how do you respond more effectively? There are some practices, science-backed, evidence-based tools that you can use to interrupt the stress reaction. They're small micro practices. And then look at how can you apply these tools into your everyday life. Okay, so settle in, take and try it on, be curious, be a little scientist of your own experience, and take what works for you and leave the rest. So let's begin by just looking at what could be causing some of these stressors that we are experiencing. Lots of changes in the world and happening very, very quickly, as we can see. And this quote, "Change has never happened this fast before, and it will never be this slow again." So this is from an author, a staff writer for The Atlantic. And things are changing so quickly, and we have so much access to data, to people, to our work, to what's happening across the globe and not just in our immediate environment. And so there are a lot of things that are impacting our stress. And we've been in it for quite a while, especially with COVID, since March of 2020. And even before with politics, climate change, the virus, many changes impact our stress reaction and our stressors. So the invitation is to take more responsibility, to shape our brains and our bodies in ways that promote well-being. So we're going to do one of those practices right now. We're going to dive in. And this practice is very simple, a 3-part practice. Pause, observe, and proceed. So I want to invite you to just settle in if you care to. This will just be a couple minutes. You can close your eyes or leave them open and just settle into your chair, and I'll walk you through it. I'll talk you through it. So just pausing. The first step is just to pause and step out of autopilot and just notice the breath moving in and out of the body, following with your mind the breath in and the breath out. And then observing. When we stop, we can start noticing sensations in the body, emotions, thoughts. So allowing yourself to just notice what's here. Sensations, thoughts, feelings. Allow, give it some space. And notice in this moment there's safety. I trust that you're safe now, and just recognize that in this moment I'm safe. And then we proceed. So with intention, after stopping and checking in, we take the next step. This allows us to be a little more responsive rather than reactive, and then just show up. So now we'll close and just take the next step. So opening your eyes if they were closed, and bringing your attention back to the screen as we move through this, this workshop. And just noticing how you feel just by checking in for a minute and a half, pausing, getting out of autopilot. So that's a practice that you can use anytime, and it could be short like that. It could be 30 seconds, it can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So pop. And so I want to pause and ask you, what are some of the stressors in your life? So if you'll answer those questions, just write down what's up for you, from family to health to work, whatever it is. What are some of the stressors in your life? And then we want to look at how stress impacts the body. So stress is natural, as I've said. It's a natural response to a situation that's perceived as challenging or threatening to your health, your well-being, even your ego. And so the body activates to to help us deal with that threat, right? It's the body's way of mobilizing energy and information to help us survive, and even to learn through the challenges that we might experience in our lives. So stress is natural. It can protect us. It's survival. It's evolved over many, many millions of hundreds of thousands of years. And so it's natural. So acute stress, there's a difference between acute stress and chronic stress. So acute stress is something that you have to take care of in the moment, like an emergency that you just have to take care of. It's momentary, short-term stress, meeting a deadline. A great example is you're driving and a car cuts in front of you and you have to quickly act, right? And respond, and you swerve out, swerve away. And then you realize, you take a deep breath and muscles tighten. And then you realize, oh, I'm safe. Your whole body sort of softens, hands relax a little bit on the steering wheel. Whew, that's acute stress. And then you continue on. Chronic stress, on the other hand, is extreme, prolonged, unpredictable, or uncontrollable stress. And this over time has an impact on our physiology, on our body, on our mental health, on our psychology, psychological impact, and can, with time, lead to disengagement, burnout, mental illness. So we want to learn ways to interrupt the stress reaction so that we don't stay in chronic stress over and over. So that's what we're going to learn. How can I interrupt the stress reaction? And we have all, science is pointing to it and research is pointing to it, that across the globe, we have experienced chronic stress over these last few years. And just because of everything that we are dealing with. So it's a great opportunity to take charge and say, what can I do for my health and my well-being? So we know too that stress impacts how we feel and our behavior, our emotions. I may be feeling something and I'm not so aware I'm taking it into the room, but it's coming into the room. I might feel anxious or irritable or impatient. We all have different feelings. These feelings are not to be denied, but they're to be recognized. So we want to be acknowledged, like, oh, this is what I'm feeling, because only then, when we recognize our emotions, can we then start to deal with them. So it can impact how I treat myself, but also how I treat others. And so let's think about, we want to recognize where we feel stress. So what's the first sign that you are feeling stressed? And where do you feel it in the body? Because then we can start paying attention and doing something about it. But first we have to recognize it. Name it to tame it, Dan Siegel says. Name it to tame it. So take a moment to consider those questions. And so let's talk a little bit about the brain and what this mission control center is up here. The brain provides a lens through which we see life. It depends, of course, on our genetics, our upbringing, society, life choices, many, many things. But it's 3 pounds in here that consumes about 20% of the body's energy, even though so small. And the brain has 3 basic needs. Safety, we want to avoid harm. Satisfaction, approach rewards. And connection with ourselves and others. So it's looking for safety first. And this is a survival tactic, right? Because if we miss something that's really dangerous, it could have killed us in the past, because it was more like tigers and stressors that could have killed us. Now our stressors won't necessarily kill us. They're not necessarily fatal, but our body still reacts as if it is fatal. And so the brain is going to be very aware of dangers, right? And pay more attention to those, and maybe less to things that aren't so dangerous. So we may be missing out on things in life because the brain is so alert to what might be dangerous and avoiding harm. And so we want to look at, again, a self-reflection question. What in your life activates relaxation or a feeling of well-being? So we might get activated, but I know you have tools in your own toolbox that help you relax, feel safe, have fun. So what are those? Take a moment to reflect on that. And we're going to do a practice now, another practice that you can do very easily from anywhere. That's the great thing about these practices. They're free. They don't require any tools or equipment. Right there where you are, you can shift how you're thinking. So we know from neuroplasticity that what we think about, what we do, has an impact. So we want to do this little practice. So I want to invite you again, and this is just, I'll walk you through it. So this, again, you can just sit back, relax. You can close your eyes if you want to, or keep them open. Either way is okay. And I want to invite you to reflect on or recall a pleasant experience you've had. A time where you felt safe, where you felt seen, heard, respected, safe. I said that. And so recall that experience. Who's there, if anyone? Where are you? Maybe noticing sensations on the body, warmth, coolness. Maybe there's sunshine. Maybe there are certain smells. And as you recall that, consider what sensations, or notice really what sensations are in the body. Just tuning into the body a little bit. Is there ease? Is there, wherever you feel, heartbeat, open, closed? And thoughts, as you're recalling it, what are some thoughts or feelings that are just going on in your awareness right now? We don't have to search for them. Thoughts about yourself, thoughts about the experience, maybe thoughts about the world. And then behavior in that experience. What did you do, or what did you say? What was your behavior? Okay, and now just coming back, bringing your awareness back to present moment, and closing this practice, and just checking in with how you feel now, just from noticing a pleasant experience and staying with that for a bit. So we know from neuroscience that we can change our neural pathways, and this is one way to help do that as well. Recall pleasant experiences, notice what happens. And this can be a way too to interrupt the stress reaction throughout the day, or it can be a practice that you do when you go to bed at night. just kind of settling in and recalling a pleasant experience from the day rather than rehashing like, oh, what did I do and why did I say that, or preparing tomorrow I have so much to do. Maybe settle in, savor a pleasant experience, and that helps calm the nervous system and get you more into a relaxed state, which if you do before you go to bed is really priming your body for sleep. All right, so we're going to do a few more practices to just help with the relaxation, to help relax the body and move the body from stress reactivity to relaxation. And we want to do this throughout the day. Of course, we're going to get heightened stress, and then we want to do things that just kind of give the body a break, give the mind a break, and then continue on again, move right back in. So how do we take these few moments, 30 seconds, 1 minute, one breath throughout the day? So here are a few more practices that we'll do. So breath, just a slower exhalation than an inhalation can calm your parasympathetic nervous system. So I want to invite you to try it. So you can do this just breathing in through the nose and then a slow exhalation through the mouth. You can count it. So let's try counting in 4, 3, 2, 1, out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the exhale is longer. So do that again, maybe your own rhythm. Okay. And then just let your body, your breath come back to its natural rhythm. It just adjusts. So let your breath come back. So that slow exhalation can really help calm down the nervous system. And again, you're your own scientist. So you observe, does that work for me? What did I notice? Right? And take it. If it works for you, try it out for a week, and see what happens. Self-massage. Whoa, do we get tight in the shoulders? So I want to invite you to take a hand, your right hand or left, and just reach over to your other shoulder, your left side if you're using the right hand, and just begin to massage the shoulder and those muscles, bringing your fingertips in, giving them a little bit of attention, loosening the muscles a little, and then you can come down the arms, a little bit on the hands, and then back up. Now, there might be a place in your arms or shoulders where you just want to linger. It's like, oh, that's the spot. Please feel free to. It's your body. All right. And then just let that hand fall and just take a moment to notice how the left side of the body feels. And then take the other hand, the left hand, to the right shoulder and just massage that right shoulder. And coming down again, the arm to the hand. You could just even focus on the hand, or you're in a meeting or waiting for a meeting to start. You can just do a little bit of massage and then back up the arm to the shoulders. And then pausing and just noticing what your experience is. Maybe shaking that out a little bit. Shaking can be really good to move the energy of stress. All right, now we'll do a little eye relaxation. So this one is rubbing your hands together. We're going to just cup the eyes and give them a little break. We're often looking, at screens and at things close up. So give your eyes a little rest, rubbing the hands together, and then just gently putting your palms over your eyes, closing the eyes. And you can follow your breath, 3 cycles. So you're resting the eyes and also getting out of autopilot and tuning in to the breath. And so that's maybe 20 seconds, and then opening your eyes with your hands still over your eyes, but just letting in a little light. And then as you're ready, taking the hands away and letting in the light from your wherever you are. So that's a little way to just bring a little pause to the eyes. And now we'll just stretch a little bit. Changing your posture really has an impact on how you feel, on blood flow, on how the blood is moving through the body and oxygen is moving through the body and the brain. So taking a moment to change your posture. And so we'll do just a little stretching. So I want to invite you to, and again, listen to your body. If your shoulders don't allow for lifting the arms up, then please don't. Do what's best for you. And so I just want to invite you to lift the arms up and over the head. And then letting them come down. You can connect this to the breath. So breath in and arms come up. And breath out and arms come down. Do that a couple of times with your rhythm. So feeling into your body in this movement. Sides of the body stretch. There's a connection, whether you're sitting or standing, from the base of your body and through your back, sides, and arms, all the way to the fingertips. And then letting the arms come down, and then just letting the arms rest to your sides. So that's a little stretching. You can bring one arm up. I have my right arm up, might look opposite on the screen. And maybe just tilt a little over to the left and opening that right side. And then coming up and letting that right arm float down. And bringing the left arm up over the head. Reach up and then gently tilt over to the right and opening up that left side. And then bringing the arm up and coming down, letting the left arm float down and just noticing. So again, you can do these, all of these, standing or sitting. And then the last one is just sometimes, if you're in a state, maybe invite, if you feel up to it, a little smile. Oh, rounding these corners of your mouth up. There's science that shows how it impacts our hormones and can help us bring a little warmth to the body, to our mind, little ease. You can try it. Okay, so those are some practices that you can do every day, anytime, right? They're really accessible. And you probably know these. So a lot of times it's not that this is really necessarily new information, but common knowledge or common sense doesn't mean we're going to commonly do it. So we really have to have an intention and an intention and attention towards this, and be clear that, okay, I'm going to do this every day. And so as we, to consider those things, like when am I going to do this and what's a highlight for me, I want you to take a little time to consider these two questions. What's a highlight from this 30-minute workshop as we come towards a close? And what tiny act will you be mindful of daily and commit to for, say, 7 days? Commit to a tiny one, right? Not everything. We're not fixing everything, but one little thing that might support you, your health, your well-being. So take a little bit to respond to that, consider that, and make a commitment to yourself, because you really are worth it. You really are worth it. And we need to do these things for the health of our own being, our mental health, physical health, but also how we relate to people in the world and how we show up. So you are deserving, you are worth it, and it does take our concerted effort to really do it. No one will do it for us. And so really what we're doing is creating practices, developing a mind that can walk evenly over uneven ground. And this is by Rick Hansen, who's a writer and a psychologist, teacher, neuropsychologist. He is, and has written many books. So that's how do we work with the mind? Because we don't know what's coming, but how do we work with the mind and take a little more control over our daily actions so that we can walk evenly over uneven ground? So one more quote I just want to leave you with is John Kabat-Zinn, teacher of mindfulness-based stress reduction, which am certified in teaching. But he says, you can't change the waves, but you can learn how to surf. And so that's another way of looking at this. Like, we're doing things that can help wax our surfboard, perhaps, so that we can better surf what's coming. And doing these daily help build our capacity and our resources so that we can deal with the demands in life. And we're building up muscle, so to speak. Even in calm moments, we do these practices so that in those moments where there might be crisis, we'll have sort of an account to pull from so that we can respond effectively. So I hope that you are taking away something that you can really implement, and then you can try another one for the next 7 days. So I want to thank you very much. And I want to just offer, if you want this ebook, just go to at popstressnow.com. And it's a lot around the Pop Stress Now practice that we did at the beginning of the course, but so much more around stress and how it impacts us. And with that, I will just say, I hope that you continue to nurture and support yourself, and knowing that small actions done consistently over time really do make a difference. So wishing you well, and thank you for your time.